on the end and the four. Up closer, you can see at the bottom of the front that's facing us, there's a little black lever that would be used to um, lock all of the wheels, swivel, and joints in the machine to ensure a lot of steadiness during the scan. And I already talked about the strengths and weaknesses before, but just the main strength is that it's full and can be applied in many situations. And the main weakness would be that the steadiness factor. So I'll give everyone a second to look at that. And then, so now, if you guys head towards the third flight of stairs, before we go up though, there's a couple reflection questions that me and Dan are going to talk about. So I'm going to give it to Dan to talk about some of the difficulties that we faced as a team and how we overcame those.
So I'm going to talk about the difficulties and how we overcame them during this project. So our first difficulty was that we live in different locations. Well, me and Tony live separate from Zach in a different location, so that was kind of tough. It affected scheduling. So we really had to work hard and text each other and try to figure out good times between school and after school activities and all that family. We had to figure out good times that would work for all of us. This led into technical issues. We had some issues with like emailing and even before the device that we're talking on now, we had some issues with the World Voice Chat. We had some problems because we couldn't really talk to each other well because it was skipping and stuff like that. But Zach talked to the IT guy and he figured it out, and so now it's working pretty well. Our next issue was that me and Tony had no modeling experience, but I know Zach had some. Well, he only had a little bit, but me and Tony had none, so we really had to put some effort in and learn how to model by downloading the program and using some tutorials and all that. And that's the same with the in-world program. We didn't have any experience with that either, so we had to learn, and we used a tutorial word that you have in here, and that really helped. So that's the difficulties that we faced while working on this project. And so I'm going to hand it over to Tony again, so he will talk about the skills that we developed while working on the project.
Actually, if Zach's here, I think we were going to let him talk about this one since he had some difficulties before and I had to take his part. So is Zach here? I'll give you a few seconds to get your mic ready.
Yeah, I'm here, Tony. Do you hear me well? Okay, so sorry about that again. My laptop kind of blew up there for a second, but I will talk about the skills that everyone kind of developed throughout the process of the Emerald Challenge. So some of the things that Dan and Tony learned were the 3D modeling. I experienced with that through school, but I was able to teach them that, and that'll give them a big advantage going into college and hopefully into industry someday. And some time management skills, it's never a bad thing to practice that, and we learned a lot about that. Planning efficiently, just contacting each other and setting up meetings, and using the time we had to talk in world and be efficient. Tony and Dan kind of learned the basics of the engineering design process. You can see that by going through the knowledge world. Then again, just kind of scheduling meetings and attending meetings cordially, and Tony and Dan were pretty good at that, and it was a great experience. And then the last kind of skill that everyone kind of learned was adversity and kind of changing on the spot. As you can see in our presentation, I was supposed to talk about the models. Tony did a good job of taking that over and kind of filling in for me, which was awesome. Don't know what happened with my computer, so sorry about that again. But yeah, it was a great experience and developed a lot of skills. With all that being said, let's go up the stairs right behind everyone. So if you want to press the teleport back to the main building, that would be great. And with everyone back in the main building, that concludes our tour. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. We're more than willing to answer them.
Okay, so I have a question for choosing what kind of problem you applied your technology to. Were there other areas that you considered and set aside? I'll take that one. At first, we were considering doing something more like we wanted to do something with the military, sort of. So at first we were thinking of like a sniper rifle because that's precision, and that really didn't work out because we couldn't expand upon that design. So we eventually came to surgery, where we found a good idea that we could expand upon, and that really worked out well for us.
Team 4, we were wondering if you have a business case or an idea on how you would market this?
I'll take that one. Generally, our whole marketing basis would be to say that this technology would be a lot more efficient to use and a lot safer to use in the future once it's developed than the current X-ray technology, because as I think Dan showed the stat before, but the current wave scan technology measures a pupil of about 7 millimeters, and it can get up to 1,250 data points from that small area. So once we're able to apply this to a larger area, such as the bone fractures, essentially the idea would be that it would create almost a super accurate image that could be transferred onto a computer screen, and in the future, even the computer program could suggest that certain ways to perform the surgery that would be most efficient and the safest. So basically the idea is that using this technology would provide a safer surgery and also generally more successful surgeries for the general public or anyone who has a comminuted fracture.
Team 4, we want to thank you for all of your time. It's evident you put a lot of thought into this spinoff, and you've worked very hard as a team. And just many thanks to Tony, to Dan, and to Zach for all of your hard work. The last task is to get us back into the real-world in-world portal.
All right, we would just like to thank everyone on behalf of Tony, Dan, and myself. Thank you again. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll let Tony take you guys back to the world. Thank you.
Okay, so essentially, yeah, so that's the end of our tour. The way to get back into the area where we started, there's the black and green sign in the main building that says click here to teleport back to the team spaces area, and you can click on that to get back to where we began. So once again, thank you everyone. I'll take you back.